It's a beautiful afternoon here in Asker, Norway, and I am in my guitar building studio. And actually I can show what a beautiful afternoon it is. We got lovely winter day, cold, but quite beautiful, with sunshine and everything. So what we are doing this afternoon is basically putting frets in this guitar. Here we have beautiful Norwegian birch with lots of flame in it, and it's ready to get some frets installed. So that's what we will be doing today. For people who have not built that many built guitars before, that might feel like a job that's a bit challenging and scary. I know it was for me the first time. So what we got here, this is what's called a fret hammer. I find it to be quite useless. I bought it after building my first couple of guitars. I've used it for one fret and now it's being used for other purposes. What I use is this cheap hammer that I bought at the local hardware store. Got some hard plastic on it. Gives me weight to pound those frets into the guitar, and I prefer that much more than the fancy fret hammers. Okay, so we got here frets cut up, numbered, ready to go into the guitar. There's a couple of preparations I do before I start. I use this triangular file to widen these slots. So, you know, for each slot I use the triangular file first, then the frets go in more easily. Then on the actual frets I use a flat file to file little tangs down a little bit so that they will go in easier as well. You can see they have these little tangs here that grip in the slot when you hammer them in. Okay, so that's it. Let's get started on putting some frets in. I'll move the camera for a better angle so that you can see what's going on. Now as we get to the fretboard part over the top, there's no good support under there. So here I use a block that I also use for stabilizing this when gluing the fretboard on to get some support underneath. Sorry about the filtration system going in the background here, but I like to have that on in the back. So I like to add fret marker at this point. I put it on the 7th fret only, and so I inlay a mother of pearl. In this case I'll use a golden mother of pearl, 2.5 millimeters. So here we've taped up to protect the fingerboard to actually start flattening. We've now evened the frets with the sides using the file like we just showed, and time to flatten. I sort of started already, but now we protect the fingerboard with tape, so that while we sand and or file down the frets and shape them, we don't get all the dust in the fingerboard or damage the fingerboard. So I use a diamond file, diamond flat file, to flatten the frets or to level the frets. I've used double-sided tape to attach just a piece of wood on it, so it's just easier to grip and hold on to and work with. And so we start flattening the frets by just filing them down so that until they're level, and then I check with the fret rocker. It's a little piece of metal like this that you can use to check the frets to see that it's not rocking and to see that it's actually level all along the way. And then of course you have to take care of any unevenness. Yeah, once you've done that, I basically use the fret file to round the edge on these with the fret file by just pulling it down, so that we get nice and level. So what we're going to start next is basically, I don't know if you can see that, the tops of the frets are now a little bit flatter since we leveled them. So what we need to do now is to crown them. So we have this file here, which we can use to put a round top back on the frets, and that's what we will be doing next. So, now crowned all the frets. Had a little accident on the way. Accidentally dropped my file and the handle just broke off. Thankfully I was able to finish the crowning. I mostly hold the file here anyway, but the handle is extra support and sometimes I use it. So, a little bit annoying, but I'll contact the vendor here and see if, they have lifetime support on the tools, but this was, it was an accident, but kind of would expect the file to handle being dropped on the floor since it's metal, but who knows. Anyway, I got through. So, the thing now is these frets, I don't think you can pick that up on the video, is they're still a bit rough after the filing, so now we want to remove those scratches, and so I'm using these fret erasers I've been trying on the last couple of builds, and they seem to work pretty well. Previously I just used sandpaper of increasing grade, and but these run from 220 to 2000 grit, and so I'll just work each fret with going up the grades of these grits, and polish them when we're done. But I'll do that at a later stage before I'm finishing up the guitar. But yeah, that's the next step. Okay, so now we've gone through the grits with the fret erasers and made these smooth and clean, and they look good. So next step now is to round the edges here to make sure there's no sharp edges. For that we use this little fret file that we can safely use along the edges. It has a flat bottom. And so now we need to do all frets with this fret file in order to kind of do this final step before they're ready for polishing. So, as you saw there at the end, I did use some steel wool just to shine it up, but now we've got all these frets leveled, crowned, edges rounded, and so basically we can move on to the next step with this guitar. Usually I have to, revisit this at the end when I do the final sanding down of the guitar, because, I might have missed something, which happens, or I might have scuffed them with something or scratched them with something along in the final steps. So I do revisit at the end and then polish it too before the guitar is done. So, but yeah, that's the process of adding frets to the guitar. Quite a lot of work, quite time consuming, but also quite rewarding when it's done. So, yeah. So here's the rosette, but that's an other story. So, but thank you for watching and have a great day.